All right, Marty Coleman here. This is the Annapolis Nood J111 group doing the analysis. Race number one, and here's the finishes for race number one. You can see Space was first, and then Slush, Velocity, Skeleton, and so forth. Now let's go over and take a look here. So today's synopsis, I said a little bit on one of the other analysis, is that really the left had a little less current. The forecast was a little bit more pressure than some of the models had shown. Basically, out of the north a little bit, we're roughly at about, what are we at, 22 degrees a little bit. But you can see how skewed. Let me back this one up here a little bit. There we go. Back in here a little bit. And we'll play this out a little bit here. Okay, let's look at the step details. You can pause now and look through this. Basically, what I look at is the 2.475 kilometers. That's the distance sailed on the first leg. This is the second leg, third leg, fourth leg, and overall for the whole race. And the knots here. So you can see that we sailed at 6.18 on Space. Velocity was a 6.3, 6.0 on Wicked, 6.16, 6.2. Centella at 5.98 and 6.37 on Bravo. So it gives you a little bit of that gauge, and then the distance sailed 11.8, 11.08, 11.4, 11.4, 11.4, 11.6, 11.1. So we could actually sail the shortest distance at 6 knots, which was almost the second slowest. So we can take a look at that. So that tells me probably just a little bit too high and slow mode right there. All right. Let's go see what we got. Here's the start. Down at the bottom right's time here, which is current time. You can kind of see we'll kind of play into the gun goes off right at 10:15 right there. And away we go. So the color speed is, you can see the difference is when you're in the purple, you're above 6 knots. When you're in the green, you're under 6 knots. But remember, this is also GPS, so it's current driven a little bit. But just gives you a gauge about the folks around you a little bit. A little bit of a right, and just got real slow over here. Probably sailing a little bit too high on Wicked would be my guess. So really, the first race was more of a current kind of situation. Overstood there by a good amount. But Bravo inside of them pretty easily there, so really trying to get those ley lines sorted. Everybody pretty much sailing. So let's pause here. Let's look at the second leg. Regatta, show step detail. So second leg, 7.5, 6, 7.6, 7.5, 7.7, 7.4, 7.4, 7.6. Distance sailed 1.8, 1.8. So you can pause this at the end and take a look at it too. Really helpful. Really helpful to find that VMG mode. And then you can watch and go back and see, well, who did better? Were they lower, shorter distance? This one's pretty much of a straight line though. Coming down here, right? Yeah, got one little. It's funny, nobody jibed out for the current. If the current was less over here, you'd think jibing out would help. And I think we see a little bit of that later on. In some of the races where that did help out a little bit. These guys maybe a little bit past ley line. Maybe with the current coming this way, want to try to stay inside those. Obviously, this mark here is much further upwind. It's amazing by how much it makes a difference. I don't think you see it as much on the water about how dramatic it is until after you go upwind. You're like, oh, geez, either I lost or gained a whole bunch. But I think we'll see that was a pretty big loss for skeleton getting over there. Yeah, for sure. And we saw that on the second race also. Just how important it is to get to that. If the gate is that favored, it does make a big difference. Again, got to get skeleton to be a little bit get the lines a little bit better, ley lines. All right, so telejive's out here. See if they do a little bit of a gain for them maybe. Not quite. I'm closer though, but look, nice low mode right here on these guys. These guys are playing around. They'll probably squeeze in, but they do get them right there. So there's race number one. I'll pause this and I'll put up the pause. No. There we go. And I'll leave this up. And you can look at that.